Hi, this is G from Native Speakers Academy, and welcome to 10-Minute English. This is where, let's get it right. This is where we introduce short articles from the news for upper intermediate level students. And if you're not sure what upper intermediate means, that's B2 on the Common European Framework. So, let's get right into today's article. As you can see, I have highlighted some of the important vocabulary that you will need to take a closer look at in the text. Now what you can do is you can have a look at this vocabulary before we go through the article, or you can try to understand it from the context in the article and have a look at it after. If you are interested in getting more information about the vocabulary, what you can do is take the words. You can open Google, you can type into Google define, and you can paste the word into Google, hit enter, and then you'll get a nice little definition. Confab, an informal private conversation or discussion. Let's make that a little bit bigger. There we go. If you want more information about the word and its history, you can try the online etymology dictionary, and if you want to use something which is really funky and cool, you can try VisuWords online graphical dictionary, which will show you the relationship between words in the language. Just type a word into the box, such as education, and there we go. Right. Our home website, by the way, is www.nsa-slovakia.com. So, let's get into today's article. 1,700 private jets descend on Davos Economic Forum to discuss climate change, by Adan Salazar. You might also want to type into Google Davos Economic Forum, and it'll take you to this website, the World Economic Forum. Did you know there was a World Economic Forum? And you can read a little bit more about what happens there, and it's quite enlightening, really. Nice little logo with a bit of a smile going on. The article reads, world leaders traveling to this year's Davos Economic Forum in Switzerland will reportedly board around 1,700 private jets to reach their destination, where, ironically, the topic of how to tackle climate change denial will be discussed. Interesting use of the word denial here, suggesting a very, very negative activity. Think about what happened during the Second World War. The annual globalist confab of power brokers, economists, journalists, world leaders, pop stars, and titans of industry meets through Friday to flesh out various issues they believe to be affecting the planet. One of the items on the agenda: how can we tackle climate change denial, a problem threatening the implementation of a carbon tax scheme long in the works? Yes, poverty, not a problem. Lack of water, certain parts of the world, not a problem. International terrorism, not a problem. The problem is climate change denial. Oblivious to the irony, forum attendees from all over the world booked tens of hundreds of flights into Geneva, collectively spending hours polluting the airways. Roughly 1,700 private flights are expected over the course of the week, which is twice as many as normal, according to WingX Advance, a tracking firm CNN Money reports. A June 2008 Institute for Policy Studies report entitled High Flowers, High I think I read that the same last time as well. High Flyers. High Flyers, how private jet travel is straining the system, warming the planet and costing you money. PDF is attached in the original article, and a link to the original article will be posted with this video. So, a PDF revealed an hour of flying in a private jet burns as much fuel as an entire year of driving. And that's not to mention how much fuel and waste energy is created when things like oil tankers travel from one part of the world to another. 4 passengers flying in a private Cessna Citation X from Los Angeles to New York will each emit 8,892 pounds of CO2 into the atmosphere. This is more than 5 times as much CO2 emitted by a commercial air passenger taking the same trip, the report added. One rule for us, and for you another. Don't worry, I'm sure these will be non-polluting private jets powered by carbon offsets and unicorn magic. Jests. FrontPageMag.com's Daniel Greenfield. They will not in any way add to the heat death of the earth, unlike you toting your groceries home in a plastic bag in the back of an SUV, if you even have enough money to afford to buy a car or pay for the fuel to put in it these days. I think there's another word here that I could highlight. There we go. And maybe you'd like to check the definition of what is a carbon offset. Among this year's meeting attendees is none other than climate change advocate, multimillionaire and former Vice President Al Gore, whose name has become synonymous with the ongoing effort to convince humans we are the primary cause of global warming, a stance many non-establishment scientists largely contradict. Al Gore, the man who said that the sea level was going to rise and then bought beach houses. Al Gore, the man descended from the arm and hammer industry. Al Gore, one of the primary funders and I think owners of the carbon exchange. Al Gore, founding member of the Blood and Gore Company. Scientists at the Indian Science Congress, for example, recently expressed concerns that man-made global warming was being blown out of proportion, pointing out that polar ice caps were melting before humans were on Earth. They're also melting lots in the summer as well. Just compare a picture of global ice levels in the winter to the summer. While I agree that glaciers are melting because of global warming, if this is because of man, then what was the reason for the melting of the glaciers in the Gondwana period before man arrived on the planet? Asked Dhruv Sen Singh, a University of Lucknow geologist. Look at that. There's a university called Lucknow. Wow. Even meteorologist John Coleman, the co-founder of the Weather Channel cable network, openly questions climate change promoting science. The polar ice is increasing, not melting away, Coleman said in an open letter to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Polar bears are increasing in number. Heat waves have actually diminished, not increased. There is not an uptick in the number or strength of storms. In fact, storms are diminishing, despite the fact that they are portrayed on television, especially in the news, as the greatest disasters in history. I have studied this topic seriously for years, he added. It has become a political and environment agenda item, but the science is not valid. Despite a host of dissenting voices, an overwhelming majority of the US Senate passed a measure Wednesday. Why is there no preposition? It should be on Wednesday. On Wednesday, declaring climate change is real and is not a hoax. While voting in favor of the measure, Oklahoma Senator James Inhofe pointed out that the only hoax regarding climate change is the belief that it is man-made. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the planet and the forces of the universe might actually have more effect than we can have on the climate. Climate is changing, and climate has always changed and always will. There's archaeological evidence of that. There's biblical evidence. Are biblical stories actually evidence? There's biblical evidence of that. There's historic evidence of that. It will always change. Inhofe stated, the hoax is that there are some people that are so arrogant to think that they are so powerful that they can change climate. Man can't change climate. I would say that man can affect climate. I mean, we can build dams to hold water. We can cut down forests. That affects climate as well. There are also cloud seeding experiments. I mean, if you want some interesting information about how man can affect the weather, what you should do is go to Google, type in cloud seeding. You will get a Wikipedia link to a page explaining how we can change the weather. There we go. It's really interesting reading. We don't have time for it, but have a look at it yourself. And don't forget to have a look at the World Economic Forum information as well. Just to summarize the story, it is a living embodiment of do as I say, not as I do. And links to this text and anything else relevant will be posted along with this video. That's about all we have time for. If you want to give us some feedback on how we can make this better, what we could include for you, then please let us know and we will try to put it in here. Remember, you can visit us on the net. You can find us at www.nsa-slovakia.com, or you can check out one of our YouTube channels with educational videos there. Or if you're really interested, you can perhaps even take one of our special one-to-one English language study courses. Just send us an email if you'd like to get more information. So that's all we have time for today. I hope to speak to you again soon. Bye for now.